Yeah, well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. We're here to discuss a new event from Bench Events, Space. Perhaps you could tell me what that acronym stands for and what the event's all about.
Yeah, it's an unusual name, and I'll tell you a little bit about the history, but actually it's a 2-day conference for real estate professionals that are looking at the value and the investment potential of efficient buildings. The reason why we have the name Space is actually a couple of years ago I was hearing at our hotel investment forum that there was a real push towards the mid-market hotel sector. The challenge, however, for owners, investors is actually operational, that the energy prices and the operational costs of such hotels were questionable to the price that we were going to pass on to the customer. So I started to think, well, hang on, why don't you take control of these elements of a project build? And of course, they're perceived, perhaps, they maybe are costly. But of course, what is unknown or is less unknown is actually how that then benefits the owner or the investor, both in the long term when they come to sell it, but also then reducing the operational cost. Now, I called it Space because actually it was originally called Sustainable Properties Africa Conference and Exhibition, which is a bit of a mouthful, but actually Space is quite a cool name and I kept it, but I took the word purposefully out, sustainable, because actually this isn't a sustainable discussion. It's not ethical. This is truly a business decision, and one that owners and project managers, developers and engineers have to go through every single time. And of course, Africa has the opportunity to leapfrog rather than go backwards.
And what sort of time frame were you looking forward for the launch here?
Well, the launch is in March. It's in Kenya, March the 12th and 13th in the Radisson Blu in Nairobi. The event already has 50 or 60 organisations on there, and you can have a look at who's already on board at space-conference.com. And we're exceedingly excited about hosting it in Kenya, which seems to be one of the leading sub-Saharan African markets that are pushing this agenda.
We're here at another Bench event, the African Hotel Investment Forum, obviously for investors in the hotel. Who would you be expecting hotels to be sending to this new event? What sort of segment are we looking at?
Well, that's a good question, because I still think it has value to the development teams. But of course here, and this is where the challenge comes to host such a debate here, that actually this is more about transactions. And my point is actually we want to be having a conversation before it gets to those transactional discussions or management contracts about actually building the product in the first place to a quality that these new investors or the new owners or the brands can associate themselves to in the future. So therefore increasing the value to the existing owner and making sure that they're not pushed out by any competition.
It's obviously very risky sometimes to launch a new event as a debut. Well, how are you considered successful? What are you hoping the outcome will be?
Well, that's a really good question. Obviously, education is key. I think that at this stage in sub-Saharan Africa, that ability to paint a new picture for the continent is a real strong possibility. So I'd love to see more buildings going up that are futuristic, or the future of where buildings should go. But I think also this is feeding into other real estate conferences or hotel conferences, and we'll see more transactions, we'll see more deals done, and we'll actually see more understanding that actually the cost saving outweighs the initial cost investment.
Okay, well, it's a very interesting point, and hopefully we'll see you at the event.
No, thank you
you
very much, Chris. Thank you.